In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to take these three images here and turn them into this image here. Let's dive right in. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is add new image layer, and for this one we're going to choose Chaos. Click Open and that will drop in. From here, the first thing we're going to have to do is Layer Transform. We're going to take that to the top of the image because that's going to create our background element with this image. Once you're done, click Done. Next, add a new image layer. Second image is going to be the road. And again, that will drop in, filling the entire aspect ratio of the image. So I can pull the opacity down just so that I can see what I'm doing with it. From here, Layer Transform. And what I'm going to do is I'm watching the horizon each time, and there's a certain area that I would like the road to appear at. So I'll stretch that down using the transform handles and get it to roughly where I want it for this image. And I'm just going to bring it out to the edge ever so slightly, just beyond the edge. So I'm looking at this center point here. Click Done. Next, I'm going to take the opacity back up. And then from here, I'm going to edit the mask using the brush tool. And for this, I'm going to choose Erase. And I'm going to take the softness down to around 29. And I'm going to hold down Shift, click once, and then click across the screen, and that will draw a straight line across the screen. From here, I can just edit out the rest by painting it out using the Erase tool. We're going to tweak the image slightly, and we're going to go back and paint in any areas. Then just looking at the image, take the brush size down and just go in for any fine details. Clicking across the screen whilst holding down Shift. Again, I'll do that once more just to check, and then I'll just go in manually and just paint in so that you can see what we're getting here. And it's just really to blend the two together. From this point, I'm going to add a new image layer, and this time I'm going to bring in the swimmer. And now you should be able to see the entire image coming together. Now that the swimmer's in, you'll see that we don't actually need any of the background at all, the buildings in the background, and you can see quite a distance between the end of the road and the edge of the water. So again, I am going to edit the mask using the brush, but this time I'm going to use the paint, and I'm going to turn the opacity right back up and take the brush size up as well. When I use the paint option, Luminar creates a hide all mask, so you're actually adding by painting in. So we're just going to paint this in to fill the road. And we're going to take our time with this, but you can see the image starting to appear and starting to come together with doing this. And we'll tweak it just ever so slightly when we're doing this as well. So quite happy with that. I'm looking just there, take the brush size down, just so that we can see it get into the distance ever so slightly, and I'll paint along that edge. I'm going to erase a few areas, and the first thing I'm going to do is take the opacity of the brush down, just to blend this in slightly. And it may be too much at certain points, but we have the option to choose and paint this back in. So just take your time here when you're creating any of these images. Next thing, I'm going to create a new adjustment layer. And with this adjustment layer, I am going to go into the creative tools, and I'm going to add a LUT to this one. And you can cycle through the LUTs. Candlelight, Involve, Kodak Chrome, Red Trace, Manhattan. Red Trace for me seems to be the best one, and the default setting for the LUTs is 30, and I'm going to leave it at that. Last but not least, I'm going to add a new adjustment layer. This time I'm going to add a Lux to it. And for me, Camden Fade or Camden work best with this image, and I'm just going to click that and pull Camden back slightly just to help the image come together. Next, I'm going to add a slight vignette just at the foreground just to pull the image together, and I am quite happy with that. Hopefully you enjoyed that tutorial, and you'll notice that I started with a 50% grey base layer. That's just a little trick that you can employ when you're doing your composite images. Remember, explore the software, enjoy the software, and have fun with the software.